Trey Gowdy, of course, is leading the proceedings during the Benghazi hearings. Now, they had Hillary Clinton in there for 11 hours the other day. They asked her over 300 questions. The conclusion of the press afterwards was that she comported herself very well, and that in the end it probably helped her rather than hurt her, because she stood up to these guys, was very calm, cool, and collected. At least that was the reaction of the press. And if you watched all 11 hours, you can make your own decision on that. Now, the Republicans were very flustered. A lot of the people in the right-wing media even said, no, Hillary Clinton won. And then it turns out there was nothing to find out in the Benghazi hearings. They asked her over and over again, and they got nothing for it, right? So even when the right-wing media says the Republicans were basically an epic fail in this case, well, then your jury's pretty much in. And that's why Trey Gowdy had to come out afterwards and say, well, I don't know if we learned anything. I'm going to have to look back at the transcripts. And I thought Jimmy Jordan asked some good questions, and Jimmy Johnson makes a good sandwich, but I'm going to have to get back to you. So that's a disaster. It's a disaster for them. So they've decided they're going to have a new approach in the hearings going forward. It's to make them private instead of public so they can get their ass kicked in private. So he explains that here to Chuck Todd.
Well, Chuck, it was a voluntary interview. I didn't send a subpoena to Secretary Clinton. It was a voluntary interview, and she wanted it to be in public. I wrote a letter several months ago giving her an option. And she chose public, and that's well within her rights. I can just tell you that of the 50-some-odd interviews we have done thus far, the vast majority of them have been private, and you don't see the bickering among the members of Congress in private interviews. You don't see any of that. So
the TV camera
that is most constructive.
You think the TV camera adds to the grandstanding on both sides of the aisle?
What do you think, Chuck?
What do you think, Chuck? Now, look, he's right about that. Yes, of course, the TV cameras do cause more bickering because his guys, the Republicans, have to go out there and impress Rush Limbaugh. Oh, that's so sad. So they got there, oh, I'm going to be tough on Hillary Clinton, and what do you say about this, and what do you say about that? Did I do well, Rush? Did I do well, Bill O'Reilly and Fox News? Well, the Democrats aren't the ones that are attacking in this case. Yes, I mean, do they play politics? Of course! Were they supporting Hillary Clinton? Of course, right? But the Republicans are the ones that started this food fight in the first place. They're the ones who were mugging for the cameras more than anybody else. And it turns out when they got their ass kicked, they turn around and go, oh, we should do this in private from now on. Absolutely. And the rest of the interview, Trey Gowdy was like, oh, there's 24 meetings. From now on, they'll all be private. They'll all be private. Don't look. Yeah, well, trust me that if it had gone well for the Republicans, they would have wanted to do more in public. You know it didn't go well for them when they want to hide the next several dozen interviews. He said at the end, the private ones always produce better results. I mean, the things you're not seeing, whew, we nailed those. Those were awesome. The things you saw, yeah, there we seem to have sucked. But trust me that when we go private from now on and you can't see them anymore, oh, it's going to be terrific. When you're the one hiding, good chance you lost. A little bit of a bitch move.